Good day to you. I've decided to use the name for this particular experiment as Daft Man, because I must be daft to getting involved with this kind of thing in the first place. But after seeing a few videos on YouTube, I decided to get a bit inquisitive and decided to go on, I'll have a go then. Let's see what all this hype is, whether it works or not. So here we go. I've actually got two coils. Don't know if you can actually see that. 22 SWG, 26 SWG and a 28 SWG, 500 turns. That's 500 turns, bipolar, I think that's what you'll refer to it as, on that coil, and the same on that coil. Now, as you can obviously see from what I've said and what I've just said, I've got three tapped outputs. One is the actual pulse, one would be the trigger circuit, and one is a generation circuit. But obviously the trigger circuit also generates power as well. Same with that coil there, exactly the same as what I've just described. Underneath, I don't really want to tip it up, but underneath, I don't know if you can actually see that, there's some magnets flying around. It's just tripping reed switches. So the only difference with mine is you've probably seen that capacitor at the back and wondering what that's for. Right, well the first motor, which is the drive motor, which is what I refer to it as, just so for clarity, actually drives, the outputs of those go down into the bridge rectifier here, which then goes off and charges that capacitor. I shouldn't put my fingers too close to that, it's quite high voltage at the moment. Which then goes into the second trigger circuit, which is on that board at the back, that triggers that motor. So, the output of the two generation sides of that motor go into the rectifier, charge that capacitor, triggers the second circuit, and then I tap the output off the second circuit into the next bridge rectifier, which then charges this battery. This battery's just come off charge this morning. It was about, I don't know, I think it was about 9-10 volts, and it's now charging, just to show you, that's the reading from that battery. It's now charging. It's actually, I've got to put some sort of regulator on, it's actually overcharging very slightly. It went to 14 volts a few minutes ago. But you can see 1381 there. The supply battery is 1198 solid, and that's the current it's actually using at the moment. So, for some unknown reason, mine keeps speeding up a little bit and slows down a little bit. I'm assuming it's when the capacitor starts using the current, and it just seems to do this sometimes. I don't know why, but something I've got to look into. Maybe it's just a bearing that's starting to wear or overheat. It has been running for, oh god, it's got to be running for months now, non-stop this has. I have actually got a little electronic circuit that I normally have on this that switches the batteries over. So when this one runs down to about 8 volts, it switches over to the next battery and swaps the charge over at the same time. So it just keeps swapping the battery, flip-flopping if you like, and keeps the whole thing running. The problem is, if you let the batteries run too low, and I've noticed this, if I let this battery here run down to about 2 volts, and then put a new fully charged battery on, which is what I normally use, a pair at the back there, and I let them charge up, I find that it doesn't charge that battery back up fully. So over a period of time, the whole thing comes to a grinding halt. If I reset the voltage detection for the switch circuit to detect the voltage drop at about 8 volts, and then swap over, the thing will just run for months. I've actually had to stop it in the end because it's just getting on my nerves, running it back at the shed. So it's actually been running for many months, and I've only just finally plucked up courage to put it on YouTube, if you like, and let you all see it. Because you know, it's not my. I am an electronics engineer by trade, and it's not my field, and you know, I understand a lot of people get really ridiculed over this kind of thing. So I don't want to destroy my reputation. As we can see, it's gone to 14.2. Getting a little bit too high, hence the reason why I built the switch circuit, but I didn't want to complicate things, so I've just taken that off just to show you. So what it actually means as well, of course, we've got the back EMF collection point from both coils usable. So I've not even tapped them. So what I was trying to achieve is to prove that I can generate power without having no connection between the two batteries. So in other words, that one, the generation from that coil is tapped together here through the bridge rectifier to charge the battery, and that's its current voltage. I'm going to have to shut it down a bit because I'm going to start napping this battery because I'm just overcharging it, and I don't like that. Although it's fluctuating a little bit, it does go up a little bit higher than that sometimes, unless I'm using the control circuit that I normally use. So I hope that goes to some way of proving that this thing works, or doesn't. All I can tell you is this has run for months. If you are interested in what this is, these are little bobbins of coils that go in these. Three-phase generators, it will be, with a fly plate on here with magnets. That's just the way, if I have to kick-start it, that's the way I kick-start it, but it just starts automatically, I don't have to bother. Starts up very slow until that capacitor comes charged, and then she bursts into life and off she goes. I just thought I'd stick it on before I dismantle it, because I've got no use or any interest in it really. It's just something I decided I wanted to play with one day. So there you go. Hope you can pick some bones out on it.